Good morning. We want to welcome you this morning to the Drainage District Board of Directors meeting for today, August 16, 2016. Present are Commissioner Cuellar, Precinct 1, Cantu, Precinct 2, Flores, Precinct 3, and myself. We have a quorum. Please join us in prayer.
Thank you, Judge. Let us pray. Father God, we give you thanks for a great day that you've given us today, Lord. We thank you for the rain, the coolness that it's brought upon our land, Lord. We continue to pray for our country, Lord, just for the devastated effects that in the south part of our country and the eastern portion as well, Lord, that they're going through these heavy rain events. Be with them, guide them, provide their needs to get through these events, Lord. Continue to be with those that are ill, Lord. We lift up our HR director, Lord, and our purchasing director as they battle through the sickness, Lord. Have your hand of peace over them, Lord. Continue to provide wisdom to this board, Lord, that you've appointed the judge for commissioners. They have a daunting task to lead this great county, Lord. Continue to provide that wisdom that they need to make those decisions that affect us all, Lord. Continue to provide the same wisdom to myself, all the leaders of this county, Lord. I ask all this in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Under open forum,
Yes,
can anyone sign up?
Yes, we do have one individual signed up, Ms. Norma Saldaña. Again, as always, I will ask the audience to please respect the speaker's time at the podium, and I will inform the speaker when they're down to 1 minute.
It's not going to take long. I had one of your, well, this is for A.C. Cuellar's precinct, I'm sorry. I had one of your residents reach out to me, Jaime Contreras. A paving of, I guess, of the road was done about 2 weeks ago. The job is, or the, whatever they finished, the street is falling apart. They've used two different types of material. They've left his mailbox, and I have pictures if you want to see them. They've left his mailbox in a plastic can with a couple of bricks in there, I guess, so it won't fall. He says that he has reached out to John Paul at Precinct 1, who was in charge of the project. He can't find him. He texted you yesterday. He reached out to County Judge Ramon Garcia's office as well, and no one replied to him yesterday. He called me last night. It's off of the Highlandburg subdivision, mile 2 east, off of Kika de la Garza, North Mercedes, if you could kind of reach out to him. And his name is Jaime Contreras. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our consent agenda, any concerns?
I do have to pull one item, Judge, if I may. Item 3. All the items 1, 2, and 4, everything's in order, but item 3, we'd like to pull it out, Judge, please. The regular
For
agenda.
approval without item 3.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
On item 3, it's the request and approval of the Dow County Drainage District 1 crossing permit application packet. Simply, we're just updating our packet. We had one developed with legal counsel input, and we're putting the cost of $500 on there, and we just want to get board approval to have the cost on the actual packet itself. It's just for when utilities are crossing our drainage ditch. We do have a review process in place, and that's just to be able to account for the cost of that review process inspection that we do provide for those crossings as well to make sure they're in compliance with the permit packet. So I ask for action, please.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you. If I may, item 5, discussion, Dow County Drainage District 1 drainage project maintenance and operations. It's still ongoing, Judge and Commissioners. We're still working on obviously on our website. We do have a lot of information available, and I'm going to try to generate a preliminary, preliminary summary of all our bond projects that we have going on for this board to start looking at. We also are generating a lot of information on our current projects beyond the bonds, that we're improving a lot of our system to accommodate some of this rain events that we have had in the past. Hopefully with this new improvements, we'll be able to accommodate more into our existing system. So that's ongoing. So I'll keep the board abreast of everything and hopefully get the public input here soon when we present all that information. So, okay. That's all I have today.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Item 6, A, submission of 2016 effective and rollback tax rates. Paul, would you like to take over this? Thank you.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning, sir.
Let me see that. Okay. Have Mr. Espinosa pass on the effective rate calculations and the calendar. The front page is the effective rate calculation that was published on Sunday. Automatically, as soon as we do the calculation, that must be published to the public, where it gives you a breakdown of the effective rate, last year's rate, and the rollback rate. So if you look at the next third page, that's the effective rate calculation, where it gives you the effective tax rate of 0.0917. That's the effective tax rate is the rate that would bring in the same amount of revenue as last year. And if you look down to the rollback rate, the rollback rate is 0.0956. Last year's tax rate was 0.0951. So the tax rate, the rollback is higher than last year's tax rate. If the district decides they want to go ahead and approve anything above the propose anything above the 0.0917, then automatically you're going to have to set the date time in place to have two public hearings. And if they do decide to go above the 0.0917, on the calendar, the first public hearing would be on September the 6th, and the second public hearing will be on September the 20th. So I'll let Mr. Cecine here decide what they want to do as far as what they're going to propose. So.
Thank you, Paul. I guess items A, B, and C were presented by Mr. Villarreal, and then item D, if I may, Judge 60, record vote on proposed 2016 tax rate and schedule for two public hearings. If proposed tax rate exceeds to lower the effective rollback rates. The district, we're still developing our budget for this coming year. We have obviously a lot of needs that we've been trying to balance with our current budget. We've been investing in our equipment needs. We're still on our plan to continue to invest in upgrading our equipment, which within quite some time since we've done that. Currently, what I'd like to propose today would be just the equivalent last year's tax rate of 0.0951. We're going to continue to look into our budget and try to get as close as possible to the effective tax rate. But today, I'd like to propose a 0.0951 rate for the record, and then set the two public.
That's exactly what we had last year.
That is correct. We're not going up in any way. We're keeping the
Move
same.
for approval. Do we need action for that?
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And now, do we schedule, Steve, the two public hearings will be scheduled?
But do we need them?
Yeah, you will need them because they're above the effective rate, but they'll
are
coincide with the county public hearings that you're gonna, I presume, gonna
That's
have.
the way I would do it.
So we'll coincide with what the county. I don't have those dates set. Balde, have you set those dates for your public hearings?
They're going to be the same.
September 6th and
Yes.
September 6th and
6th and the 20th.
okay, September 6th and the 20th will be the public hearings for the Drain District as well.
Do we need to approve that?
Yes,
Yes.
please.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. Item 7, requesting approval to terminate construction contract number ACDD 1-13-024-0303A with Sanco General Contracting, Inc. as it relates to drainage improvements project East Donna Drain Flood Pump.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And
Items-
Judge, Commissioners, for the record, that is a mutual agreement.
That is correct. For the record-
Contractors in agreement to terminate.
That's correct. Item 7B, requesting approval to terminate construction contract number ACDD 1-13-025-02-117B with Sanco General Contracting, Inc. as it relates to drainage improvement project Mercedes Lateral Flood Pump.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And item 7C, requesting approval to terminate construction contract number ACDD 1-13-026-0203C with Sanco General Contracting, Inc. as it relates to drainage improvements project South Mercedes drain flood pump.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And again, for the record, all those items were requested or is, by the contractor. We're in agreement, or they're in agreement with the termination. Item 8A, requesting approval to accept bid and approval to award construction contract to Moorville LLC in the amount of $1,725.79 for bid number ACDD 1-13-024-09-26A, Drainage Improvements Project East Donna Drain Flood Pump.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 8B, requesting approval to accept bid and approval to award construction contract to Moorville LLC in the amount of $694,289.13 for bid number ACDD 1-13-025-09-26B, Drainage Improvements Project Mercedes Lateral Flood Pump.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C, requesting approval to accept bid and approval to award construction contract to Moorville LLC in the amount of $809,988.30 for bid number ACDD 1-13-026-09-26C, Drainage Improvements Project South Mercedes Drain.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Under closed session, I just have one item under
Need a
potential
motion
litigation.
pursuant to 551, 071, and 072 of the Texas Government Code to proceed to executive session.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. For 10,
Thank you, Judge. 10A, real estate acquisition, no action, and 10B, again, pending and potential litigation, no action as well.
need a motion to
Thank you.
adjourn.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. At this time, we're going to be convening a regular meeting of the Hidalgo County Commissioners Court for today, August 16, 2016. The entire court being present, we have a quorum. Please join us in our Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Father in heaven, as always, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the good things, and what is not so good, we pray for. We pray that the people that have health problems be healed and not have too many problems getting healed all the way. We also pray for the people of Louisiana who have had to get out of their homes because of flooding. We do thank you for the rain you brought us, for we were getting very dry and very parched. We also pray, dear Lord, that you guide these men that have these positions of power, whether it's the county judge or the commissioners. We ask you to guide them and keep them so they will make good decisions for everybody. We also ask you to bless our country and bless our families. We ask all of this in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
Any concerns with the consent agenda?
No, sir.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item number 5A.
Good morning, Commissioners and
Morning.
Judge. Item 5A is recognition of FEMA Disaster Recovery Center staff and Disaster Survivor Assistance Team for their outstanding service that they provided to the residents of Hidalgo County who were affected by the May 25th, 2016 storm. And we have some FEMA representatives and our Office of Emergency Manager Coordinator, Rick Saldana, to do the presentation.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. I'm here before
Good
you
morning,
to make
sir.
a brief presentation to our Disaster Recovery Center staff and our Disaster Survivor Assistance Team. This team has been assigned to Hidalgo County for the last 3 disasters. At least 75% of the group that has been here from the onset of the May-June event of 2015 through this one have been assigned to Hidalgo County. They're very familiar with the residents. They have done an outstanding job of bringing out the residents to apply for assistance for their families in whatever it may be, whether it be home, rental assistance of that type. So I'd like to recognize Hector Soto and Jennifer Reyes from the Disaster Recovery Center. Our disaster assistance team has already departed. This team more than likely will end up in Louisiana after the closure of our Disaster Recovery Center on Friday because of that has been federally declared up there, so their impact has been so much. I'd like to make these little tokens of appreciation from Hidalgo County to our team members from the DRC and the Disaster Recovery Center. Would you like to speak?
Yes, I want to say thank you for the support for the people from Texas. We are available for you guys.
Thank you for the help that you've given our community. I know it was badly needed, and I'm sure it would be greatly appreciated by the individuals that have been adversely affected. But thank you for what you've done. Thank you.
Ready on the count of three. 1, 2, smile. And one more. And one last. Thank you.
I think Mingo wanted a picture of brushing his hair. Está peinando.
All right, the next item 5B.
Item 5B is the required hearing, the public hearing on the PACE program. Would you like to
Is
open
there someone that can give us a brief summary of what the program is about so that the public can understand it? And if anybody desires to make a comment, we're going to have a short public hearing.
Yes, sir. We have Jonathan Blackburn on behalf of the PACE program.
Good morning,
Thank you.
sir.
Good morning, Judge Garcia, Commissioners. I appreciate you guys having me today. Just as a reminder, PACE, or Property Assessed Clean Energy, is a financing program for commercial properties. It essentially is 100% financing using a long-term, low-cost loan for business owners and property owners to access. And it's for things that have an energy or a water efficiency component, things like more efficient HVAC, mechanical, LED lighting systems, new roofs or insulation, and solar panels. The financing program is a public-private partnership, but it doesn't require any government money, either at the state level or the local level. The financing is 100% private sector. So if you were to start a program, essentially you've opened up this new financing mechanism for private sector money to come in and invest in the local business community. We have a day-long event on Thursday that is open to the public, and we'll go into much more detail on the program. I'm happy to answer any questions on the program or to turn it over to any public comments.
So pursuant to Local Government Code Section 399.008, we will now convene a public hearing to consider any comments regarding the proposed Hidalgo County Property Assessed Clean Energy Program.
Good morning.
Sir.
My name is James Brooks. I'm GM here for Alba Energy Solar in McAllen, Texas. I'm here to speak in support of PACE. This program was one of the key reasons why we decided to locate an office here in South Texas, in spite of this traditionally not being a renewable market. I can speak for the benefits this provides to my business. I can also speak for the benefits that the structure provides to the client. One thing specific about this that I think is a good thing that we don't see in most other packages is the level of accountability required to execute on a project. So you'll see in the renewable sector, in the building efficiency sector, kind of a lot of attempts, I guess, at over-promising. The pay structure is safe in that it requires a third-party engineering review. It requires a level of oversight that you don't normally get. So that's one of the good aspects of it. Again, my business down here is not dependent on it, but it is a key element to why we're here. I think you're going to see a lot more renewable companies come down here because of this program. I also see that there's a keen benefit to general contractors, and we're working closely with other HVAC manufacturers and installers, other building remodelers and contractors, and I think there's a huge opportunity for those types of contractors here in South Texas, primarily due to this financing. So I'm here to speak lightly on that. I think it's a good thing, and I appreciate the consideration you guys have made to bring this to Hidalgo County.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
Hello, my name is Jose. I'm with Alba Energy as well. I just wanted to kind of speak and talk about the interest that's been that's gained. There's been a lot of interest with a lot of companies, small to medium to even large size companies that are going to be able to take advantage of this opportunity and do renovations to their building that they wouldn't be able to if PACE wasn't here. So there's a big pipeline there, and I think since this has been a long process, once this goes through, I think we're going to have a lot of PACE projects across the Hidalgo County. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? At this time, we will close our public hearing and move on to item 5B2.
Okay, thank you. 5B2 is just an update and discussion on the PACE program. Now that we have public comments, we're able to take that, incorporate, and finalize anything that we need to into the Hidalgo County model report. Just a brief update here. A couple of weeks ago, the court here passed a resolution of intent, a couple of weeks ago, which allowed us to move forward. That afternoon, we had a meeting with PACE, with representatives from the Lower Rio Grande Valley Development Council, who will be our third-party administrator, the tax office, Mr. Paul Yarian and his staff, executive, the precincts, and our office as well. The biggest question on the table right now is what to do in the event of a delinquency. So we're still, working that out. We want to make sure everyone on the county side wants to be comfortable that we have the proper protocols in place in the event that were to happen. We had a subsequent meeting with our delinquent tax attorneys as well as to how this might fit into their scope, if in fact it does fit, if we're going to need to go out for an RFQ. These delinquencies are handled the same way that property taxes are. However, this wasn't part of the original scope, so that's something that I think Valde and our legal still need to work out as well. We will be having follow-up meetings to address all pending questions. When we are ready, and if we have full support of the program and of the parties involved, then we will bring back a final resolution to adopt the Hidalgo County PACE program. But that's all for now. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to item number 6A, our DA's office. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Judge Rosalinda Cantu presenting for the District Attorney's Office. 6A, Victim Coordinator and Liaison Grant, VCLG, Fund 1281. Approval to continue the payment of salaries for one Victim Assistance Coordinator currently being paid by the Victim Coordinator and Liaison Grant, pending the award of the 2016-2017 grant.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Letter B, Domestic Violence Specialty Prosecutor Grant, DVSP, Fund 1281. Approval to continue payment of salaries for one advocate and one assistant district attorney currently being paid by the Domestic Violence Specialty Prosecutor Grant, pending the award of the 2016-2017 grant.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Letter C, Border Prosecution Grant, Unit BPU Grant, Fund 1281. Approval to continue the payment of salaries for 3 assistant district attorneys currently being paid by the Border Prosecution Unit Grant, pending the award of the 2016-17 grant documents.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 7A.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Annette Muñiz, Chief Deputy for Arturo Guajardo Jr., Hidalgo County Clerk. We're here with ratification of the selection of the 2016 Grievance Committee pursuant to Texas Local Government Code 152.015. It was approved by Commissioners Court on 6/14/16, where we selected the members. However, there was no action taken.
Move for approval.
Second.
All right. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
I know we did it because we had to pick
Well,
up.
we chose the names, but at the end we didn't vote. Well, you all didn't vote
So we just want to make sure that
Yeah.
there is a vote on record.
on the record.
All right.
Okay? Thank you. Have a good day.
Item 8A, Constable Precinct 3.
Who's that? Oh, that's Derek.
Good morning, Commissioners. It's always an honor to be here. 8A, this is our stop truancy, what's not longer called truancy, but our deputies that are assigned to Mission Sheridan and La Jolla. Number one is approval of the First Amendment interlocal cooperation agreement between Mission Consolidated Independent School District and the County of Hidalgo, Texas, for the 2016-2017 school year.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
What this is that, and it'll be on the next item, Sheridan opted not to renew their contract, so they picked up an additional deputy at 50% cash match as well. So, and one of those deputies will be used to provide safety and security for the elementaries out in the rural areas, because Mission does not have a school PD. So that's what they're gonna do. So number two would be to rescind action on AI 55-485 item 8B3. Which was on 7/26 of 2016, Sheridan local agreement.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Item 9, our tax office.
Oh.
Judge, Commissioners, which one? This one. Okay, and this one here, the first one, submission of the 2016 effective rate and rollback tax rates. It's no longer needed for the county, being that they changed the law. So that we didn't do that one. As you can see right before you, you have the governing body summary 1A, where it gives you the effective tax rate, gives you the rollback tax rate, and also last year's tax rate. The effective tax rate is 0.5886. The effective tax rate is the same amount, will bring you in the same amount of revenues last year if you select this proposed effective tax rate. The rollback tax rate is 0.6332, and of course last year's tax rate. If you propose anything above 0.5886, then we're subject to two public hearings for the county, and so at this point. I received all the information. I went ahead and calculated all the information from the appraisal district from last year's certified value and versus this certified value. And the only thing is that I think there was a concern by the auditor where that we did discuss together. We were lacking a number from the sheriff's department. It's the amount spent by the Hidalgo County on paper-ready inmates less than the state revenue received. Everything else was turned in by the auditors to me, so I did the calculation. The amount that I'm waiting from the Sheriff's Department, I should get it here by Friday. So it's not going to affect the effective rate calculations. I have up to the May 28th to do the publication. If you do go above the tax rate and decide to adopt the same rate as last year, then at this point we're going to have also a public hearing on September the 6th, and the other one will be on September the 20th. So I'd like to hear the wishes of the court.
Last year, no, Judge?
Yes.
Same thing as last year.
Same list? Okay. So if you're in agreement to propose the 0.59 cents, if you could just take a record vote on that.
Record vote?
Yes.
Vote.
All right, all those in favor indicate by raising your right hand. Motion carries unanimously.
Okay. The other one is that we're going to have a public hearing, and at the time, we're going to have it on September the 6th and September the 20th at 9:30 a.m. at this location, this address. So if you please vote for that too. For the dates.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. So I'll go ahead and publish the notice, and we'll see you back here on September 6th and 20th. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Haddad. Item 10, our Sheriff's Office. 10A.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. Captain Raul Cantu on behalf of our Hidalgo County Sheriff, Mr. Eddie Guerra. Item 10A, Jail Commissary. Number 1, approves of certification of revenues as certified by the County Auditor.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 2, approval of 2016 appropriation of funds into the jail commissary accounts in the amount of $124,918.45.
Approval.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
10B, pursuant to Hidalgo County Cellular Telephone Policy, AT&T DIR TSO 3420, presentation for consideration, acceptance and approval of cellular phone request form, data connect card request for the following: approval for requisition number 303864 for 139 data connect cards at $37.99 per device, and 2 data connect cards with a static IP address at $40.99 per device.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Is this the phones for the prisoners?
No, these are for the data cards for the patrol vehicles.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Item 11, our Executive Office.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. Item 11A for the Historical Commission. Judge, Commissioners, I'm asking authorization or to authorize the purchase of funding of a historical marker for the upcoming 50th anniversary of the 1966 Starr County Farm Workers Strike and March. Judge, Commissioners, this is authorized under the statute. I have looked, or I have consulted with legal counsel, and the dollar amount, though not on the agenda, but is $5,000 for the historical marker. We do historical markers, but given, and we do have a budget for it, but given the fact that this was a $5,000 investment into this marker, I thought it prudent to bring it to Commissioner's Court.
Even though it was in Starr County?
So it went through. It went through
here, but it was in La Capita, right?
Yes.
That's where the event took place.
And where are you going to put the marker at?
Right now, the initial location is going to be at the courthouse.
At the courthouse.
Just north of the monument and just south of the sidewalk.
What it does, Joe, it commemorates the changes that took place in the economic, the political structure that existed back at that time to where it is today.
Yeah. Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. Item B is acceptance of resignation letter from Civil Service Commissioner Aurora Villarreal Zamora. Ms. Zamora has indicated that she's got other priorities that she needs to take care of, and so she's asking for the court to accept her resignation at this time. Until filled and properly replaced, she will continue to serve, and after action is taken today, I will get with Commissioner Cantu, as it is Commissioner Cantu's appointment on the wheel as we go on.
All right.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item C is approval of interlocal cooperation agreement between South Texas Independent School District and the County of Hidalgo. This is for student transportation staging area. Judge, Commissioners, for the record, there is a concern by the Auditor's Office. I have addressed the concern as to Exhibit A. Exhibit B will be finalized with respect to the bus route, and so we'll make sure that that is attached. This is in conjunction with Commissioner A.C. Cuellar for the Precinct 1 area. The South Texas Independent School District has approached us on a couple of locations that they were wanting assistance for drop-off and pick-up for their students. And I'm asking the court to take action with respect to this request, which is in the Precinct 1 area.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item D, Judge Commissioners, this is the nuisance abatement program that we have been working on for, actually for quite some time. This has been the progression over the course of a few years. Item D1 is discussion, consideration, approval of an order establishing the Hidalgo County Unincorporated Area Nuisance Abatement Program.
Move for approval. Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is the adoption. Item 2 is the adoption of the Hidalgo County Unincorporated Area Nuisance Abatement Program policies and procedures.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Valde, do you think it'd be appropriate to advise the community briefly what the summary of what the program's about?
Right. I'm going to ask Mr. Garza, Victor, to the podium. Again, this is a program that addresses issues of concern with respect to weedy lots. Well, I say weedy lots, areas with high vegetation, grass, areas where on our easements we have debris that impairs flow of Victor, I'll let you explain.
Well, and I don't have the order here in front of me.
I have the order here, but just in general,
the nuisance abatement statutes have a laundry list of items that may be addressed when implemented by a county. We had been meeting with the precincts and the representatives throughout the period of the last several months to identify which were priority for the precincts based on their needs, their constituent needs, and we identified, I believe, 3. Valde, is that correct?
Yes.
Specific areas that will be facilitated through implementing of this adopted program in the unincorporated areas.
And Judge, if I may, Mr. Garza,
yes.
Again, just for a matter of putting it on the record, we're talking about, and I'll name the 4, or I'll briefly talk about them. One would be maintaining the premise in a manner that creates an unsanitary condition likely to attract or harbor mosquitoes, rodents, vermin, or disease-carrying pests. Allowing weeds to grow on premises in a neighborhood if the weeds are located within 300 feet of another residence or commercial establishment.
All right, sir.
So there's also an area of filling or blocking drainage easement, failing to maintain drainage easement. Last one is discarding refuse or creating hazardous visual obstructions on county-owned land, so forth and so on.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Victor. Thank you, Victor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Excuse me, does this cross over into the environmental thing that we're doing?
No.
At every precinct? No?
There is a distinction between environmental and abatement. The environmental that you're talking about would be more on the lines of TCEQ code compliance requirements. There is a overlap with respect to abatement. If we have individuals that go out there and they discover substance or they discover any type of chemicals or liquids, then yes, they would call our coordinator, Mr. Ramirez, who is charged with those types of incident or charged with that type of operation.
Kind of sounded like it was the same thing, but it's not.
It's not.
No, it's not. There is a statute specific to this process.
And if I can add some further clarity to that, this is essentially a civil process by which the county provides notice to property owners with regards to the issues that Mr. Guerra mentioned, so that they can take initiative on addressing those themselves. When they do not, this allows the county to then go in and abate those problems and be able to recover for their cost.
And it says they pay normal fee again.
Correct.
Thanks.
All right. Item number D3.
D3 is appointment of administrator for the Hidalgo County Unincorporated Area Nuisance Abatement Program. Judge Commissioners, right now the nuisance abatement program.
You need action?
Well, the nuisance abatement program will be administered by the Hidalgo County Executive Office. I want to make clear that this is going to be with the assistance of the county constables, the county health department, the fire marshal's office, justice of the peace offices, the criminal district attorney, all the commissioners' court precincts, as well as the sheriff's office. This is a collaborative effort, And so we are designating the Hidalgo County office, or Hidalgo County Executive Office, to administer the program, and I will designate our operations administrator, Mr. Trevino, to oversee the program.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item E.
Item E, Judge Commissioners, is under our Juvenile Probation Department. He is currently out of town, so he's asked that I present for him. First one is approval of interlocal cooperation agreement between Duval County, Texas, and the County of Hidalgo, Texas, for residential services. This is for a period of September 1st, 2016 through August 31st of 2017.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Second action item is the approval of the interlocal cooperation agreement between Duval County, Texas, and the County of Hidalgo, Texas, for detention services, the period September 1st, 2016 through August 31st, 2017.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item F, I'm asking the court to approve a settlement check from Access Surplus Insurance Company. This is for a weather event of May 31st, 2016. The dollar amount is $37,500, and this will settle storm damages to county property.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item 12.
Morning, Judge Commissioners. Raul Salguero, Executive Office, presenting for Human Resources. Item 12A is simply a procedure we have to go through, Judge, Commissioners. The sheriff is simply transferring a sergeant's position from the courthouse into law enforcement and transferring a position from law enforcement into the courthouse, transferring personnel, and this is a procedure that's required to do that. So I'm asking, we're asking a waiver of the budget amendment policy for personnel-related amendments.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And item 2 is discussion, consideration, and approval of the following personnel actions effective next full pay period. And that action is a title change and the salary change for slot 397 as listed, and the same thing for slot 002 as listed.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 3 is approval to transfer employee number 101079 to slot number 002.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
And item 4 is approval to transfer employee number 79715 in that program to slot number 0397.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 5 is approval of the interdepartmental transfer.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries.
Item 6 is approval to revise the salary schedule according to the action taken by the court.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Judge, Commissioners, on item 12B, we have some corrections to make. Some documents are missing, and we have some other changes. So we will be we're going to take no action on that item, and we'll bring it back for the following meeting. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 13, our Health Department.
Good morning, Judge Commissioners. Eddie Olivares, Hidalgo County Health and Human Services. Item 13A, sir, is requesting approval of the certification of revenue by the county auditor in the amount of $159,917.30. Funds are from our Health and Human Services Commission Medicaid Administrative Claiming Reimbursement.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2 is requesting approval to appropriate the MAC, or the Medicaid Administrative Fund budget in the amount of $159,917.30.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B, sir, is we're waiting upon our HHSC, Health and Human Services Commission, Department of State Health Services contract for Title V, so I'm requesting approval for supporting this object. Requesting approval for Hidalgo County Treasurer to continue payroll for employees currently funded by Title V Child Health FY16 grant, pending receipt of the Title V Child Health FY17 grant. The grant comes to an end on August 31st. We're waiting. We're hoping to get it before August 31st, but in the event that it doesn't happen, if we could go ahead and get permission to continue operations, and it'll probably be soon after that once we get that.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 13C, sir, is requesting approval for Hidalgo County Treasurer to continue payroll for employee currently funded by the Parental FY16 grant preceding acceptance of the Parental FY17 grant. Same thing as the one above, sir.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And I expect those contracts to be in before the end of the month, but just in case. Item D is discussion and consideration action on the following. We're very proud of this and working with our District Attorney's Office. District Attorney Rodriguez and his team have done a wonderful job in collaborating on this, sir. So in accordance with the Hidalgo County Civil Service Commission, requesting approval of mileage reimbursement and the payout of extra hours related to the no refusal weekend project coordinated between Hidalgo County District Attorney's Office and Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office during the Labor Day holiday weekend for the Health and Human Services Department staff at the rate of time and a half in addition to the employees' regular work hours. This was a very successful program last year. Our nurses and our assistants provide the drawing of the blood work to deal with these DWIs or potential DWI cases, and it's a tremendous project, sir. Mr.
And just for your consideration, Judge Commissioners, this will not have any budgetary impact on the county. It's going to be funded through the DA's discretionary funds.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you very much, Judge, on that. Item E, sir, discussion and action, including but not limited to healthcare funding district, which is the LPPF, the hospital funding, and expenditures. There is no action there unless there's any questions or comments. Item F, discussion and or action, including but not limited to indigent healthcare program and 1115 waiver expenditures. I have no items there, sir, but I have item number 2 on that.
All right.
I must just be full of questions today. I still think what we did last week was not right. Not legal, not right. To me, it was putting the cart before the horse. I still am confused. Now, y'all are going to have to, I don't pretend to be a professional on this. I'm just a taxpayer. You're going to have to correct me where I'm wrong. I thought we were supposed to work on a budget, and we were supposed to come up with a budget, a balanced budget, which I don't think we've had for a long time. And if whenever we do come up with one, it's always kind of creative math to me. But whatever, we get through every year. But after we have the budget, we decide to set the tax rate. Now, this new thing tells us, okay, let's put 8 cents on a thing and get it passed through the voters. I hope not. But we've got this thing coming up as a referendum or whatever. Okay, then we've got another 3 cents, but that's not what our senator told us. He said, no. If we go up 8 cents, the county is supposed to go down 8 cents. And I said, no, that is not the way it reads. They're only going to go down 3 cents. And we said, does the county understand that every year, if we go up on this tax fund thing, that they have to come down every year? And they said, no, they better understand that because that's the way the law is written. Now, you all, in your creative way for taxes, have said you want 3 cents because that's the percentage that we're paying for indigent health. What? And who decided that all these years? That instead of the 10%, we were going to go down, down, down. Surely we are not down to 3% by now. The last I heard, we were at 5.5% or something. This is just constant creative kind of math that I don't understand.
Well, my concern is that, well, first of all, I think you're incorrect on the amount that we're supposed to reduce it by. We don't even know what it is. It's going to be figured out by the budget officer and by our outside auditor. they're going to look at the amount of money that the county is spending on indigent care. And whatever that amount is, they're going to figure out whatever that tax rate is that will generate that particular amount, and that's the amount that we're going to reduce it by.
Where did the 3% come in?
Well, I'm not sure where you got it from, but I know I've seen it, but it's not accurate. And if you would remember the language that was passed last week, that resolution that was adopted by the court, it laid out the process, a procedure to be followed in determining the amount of reduction of tax rate.
Very confusing. Very confusing. I wouldn't want y'all's job for anything in the world.
Well,
because
we've got very competent people that can do math, and that
I don't know.
That are familiar with the amount of money we're spending. Well, I don't.
Really, guys.
I'm not going to.
You're going to have to. What you're going to have to do is make it clear for people like me who care, who pay attention, and read.
Well,
and I can't get it together at all that it's legal, that it's right, that you all did not jump the gun last week. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. We should have done it in an orderly fashion, and certainly we should have had the budget in place before, and that just didn't happen. I'm sorry. I'm just so frustrated, disappointed, confused.
Judge,
But
if I just may comment, I know a lot's happened since last week to now. Even us as commissioners have been doing our due diligence to figure out what the state law was, the language, and the effect. I think that the job's not done yet. I think there's a whole lot to break open. We're just at the layer of rate and the creation of board, but there's so much that's going to come with it. And I want to clarify something. And I know some comments were made last week pertaining to deferring out to a different board and passing the buck, so to speak. But in this case, the truth of the matter, if you read the language and the bill itself, it forces us to get more engaged into the process, whether it fails or whether it passes. So one certainty is that the court will have to do whatever it takes to look at not just indigent health care, but public health in total, which is indigent health care programs, the uninsured, the hospital losses of what the record after seeing some of the federal documents have been up to about $105 million a year. And I know I've received, we've been bounding as much as we can because there's just a whole lot of information, because on the surface level we're looking at rate, board, money, but it's way beyond that. Not saying anything other, but yes, the court does have a daunting task to become more familiar of what the state law and the effects are going to be with that state law. So we are working diligently. I know all the commissioners have been, and the judge had been in the process of discussions with not just the senator, the bill writer, everybody and anybody to help the general public understand the law and the effects of the law if it's in fact voted for or against. It's the beginning of a long discussion.
I think the senator is beginning to realize that he doesn't want to say it was not well written, but it's confusing.
Yes,
it's
and
confusing,
I would agree with you.
And he hadn't got it. I mean, we asked if you guys think we're tough on you guys, think about Senator Chewy. I was meeting with all the owls answering questions. It wasn't easy.
And I agree. If I can close with just a roadmap pertaining to public health, which would include indigent health care program, and just to go back to I finally got the numbers down with the help of Eddie and all. In regards to indigent health care program, our expenses have been nearly, if you take an average of 5 years, close to $10 million. It's been around that. We are beneficiaries of a federal program, the 1115 waiver program that is slated
that goes off next year.
Yes, that goes off next year. Now that's an important. I'm glad you're pointing that fact out.
Yeah.
Which it turns into about $23 million a year annually. If you take our of the 5-year period, we've been able to bring in close to $97 million, where our 8% cap would have been $40 million. So we're looking at a benefit of somewhere around the $40 million mark of what we've been able to gather for not just indigent health care program, but our also public health as well as uncompensated care. And I know, Eddie, you can talk a lot about that.
No, I just want to, just for clarity, sir, because I heard whispers behind me, I just needed to make clear, that is not money that is given in cash to anybody, okay? The 1115 money is based on a metrics, and it's based on actual outcomes projected by a program that was approved by CMS.
You need to wind it down.
Yes, sir. So what happens is that, so this concept that money's been given to folks, no. In fact, there's been hospitals and folks that haven't gotten paid in 2 years. So it's not that straightforward.
All right, thank you.
So,
all right.
Okay.
Let's go on to the next item, Eddie.
Yes, sir.
Judge, you have an opportunity, but you're going to have the open forum discussion time.
Yeah.
This is not an agenda matter, out of
This
courtesy, out of respect for Ms. Townsend.
I think the other part's important, that this agenda item is that healthcare funding district, which has nothing to do with the potential election. This has to do specifically with a local preferred provider fund, which is specifically with hospitals' contribution to the indigent care program, which you all, by state law and statute, are the advisory board for, sir. So that gets confusing, but it's not the same thing. So item F, sir, indigent health care, discussion and action, including but not limited to indigent health care program in 1150 waiver expenditures. There's no discussion there. F2, there is requesting approval to pay for out-of-county travel and other out-of-pocket expenses for consultant Kevin Nolte as Nolte Consulting Limited as per consulting services contract, travel from semi-annual meeting on September 14th. Total expenditures estimated at $450. This is part of our 1115 waiver requirements that we have twice a year, have a meeting that's been down here, Mr. Nolte, since day one. In fact, the very first meeting we ever had, Judge, with Bill Milwee, who introduced this 5.5 years ago, Mr. Nolte was part of that meeting. Now he's acting as a consulting, assisting us with the 1115 program.
All right, so move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
All right, item 14, emergency management.
Judge, Commissioners, good morning. Ricardo Saldaña, Office of Emergency Management. I know the item states recognition of Precinct 3, Precinct 4 employees. It also incurs
I'm sorry, Chief. Go ahead.
It also includes other county employees. Even though we've been through 3 federally declared events since last year, all the precincts have tied in together to a diligent effort along with other county employees and departments to make this happen. But here recently we have had our rash of fire season. And I'll just give you a couple examples. On Friday, August the 12th, we had a fire up on Goodwin Road, between La Homa and Moorfield Road on 7 Mile Line. We had 50 acres of land that burned. We had to evacuate 3 businesses and several homes. We would like to thank the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office, Precinct 3, 4, and 2 Constable's Office, Department of Public Safety. Precinct 3, David Hendry and his crew of the 2 small water trucks, they helped us out with their water operations along the roadway. On July 27th, Precinct 4 experienced a fire at their brush collection site on northwest corner of Terry Road and Davis. I would like to thank the members of Precinct 4, Joe Segovia, Reggie Salinas, Steve Cruz, Roman Rodriguez, George Guerra, Jimmy Anthony, the Precinct 4 bulldozer operator, the grappler truck operator, the water truck operators, the motor grader operators, along with Precinct 3, David Hendry, and the 5 water truck operators, the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office, the Hidalgo County Fire Marshal's Office, Eric Sanchez, Victor Ramirez, the Office of Emergency Management, Rolando Casas, the Safety Office, Armando Guzman and Larry, the Environmental Department, Martin Ramirez, the Edinburgh Fire, FAR San Juan, ELSA, and Valley EMS. August the 5th, Precinct 3 crews responded to a brush fire at the intersection of Tongill Road and FM 2221. The fire was already jumped 2221, but because of quick thinking of Precinct Field Operations Director Saul Ramirez using the front-end loader motor grader to create a fire break to keep the fire from spreading, affecting homes by using 2 of his water trucks to spray water along the roadway, keeping the fire from spreading to a ranch on the north side. Thanks to Mr. Ramirez, the motor grade operators, front-end loaders, and the water truck operators. Thanks to the La Joya Fire Department, Palm Beach Fire Department, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Fire Crews. August the 2nd, 6 3/4 North Palm Drive, we experienced a brush fire that endangered several homes. I would like to recognize Victor Gallardo from Precinct 3 Right-of-Way Division. Him and a state trooper took the initiative to grab buckets of water and garden hoses to put out the fire from keeping it to spread into some homes. With those efforts, they prevented a major catastrophe on some of those homes. They did a diligent job. Again, Precinct 3, David Hendry and the water truck operators, Alton Fire, Palmview, McAllen, and Fish and Wildlife, Hidalgo County Fire Marshal's Office, Hidalgo County SO. This is just a few things of what our employees do diligently on a day-to-day basis. If it wasn't for them being out in the field and keeping and preventing these things from happening, this is why we're a team and we work together and make a difference for this county. I'd like to thank Mr. Guerra for giving us the opportunity to allow us to respond to incidents like this and make things better, and you, Judge and Commissioners, for allowing your employees to do what they need to do. Sheriff's Office, our law enforcement community, our precinct constables, everybody, the efforts putting this together makes things happen. Thank you all very much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Chief. Next item, 14B.
14B, I come before you to the Hidalgo County Local Emergency Planning Committee has requested approval to submit a grant to the Texas Local Emergency Planning Committee grant program.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Number 2 is authorize the county judge and the emergency medical coordinator sign the authorized application subject to review of the budget.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Morning, PR.
Morning.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners. P.R. Avila with Urban County.
Morning, sir.
Item 15A, subject to compliance with House Bill 1295, when and if applicable, the Urban County Program on behalf of the City of San Juan is requesting approval and best and final negotiated contract for professional services, construction management testing services with Millennium Engineers Group, Inc. in the amount of $7,610 utilizing fiscal year 28, that's 2015 street improvement funds.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 15B, subject to compliance with House Bill 1295, when and if applicable, the Urban County Program is requesting the award of bid and approval of a contract with Quality Investments for the demolition and reconstruction of the following. One unit in the city of Elsa in the total contract of $58,777 to Quality Investments.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 15C, requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under Texas Local Government Code 262.024A4 for professional engineering services.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
15C2, presentation of the following grid for the purpose of ranking by Commissioners Court of at least 3 engineering firms from the county's approved pool as graded and evaluated by the City of La Joya, Urban County Program, and Hidalgo County Purchasing Department in the connection with the funded through the Hidalgo County Urban County Program Year 27, that's 2014, La Joya Street Improvement Funds.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 15C3, authority to negotiate the professional engineering service contract with the number 1 ranked firm, which was ranked Hinojosa Engineering with 95.33%.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Item 16, our Head Start program.
Good morning. You have in your packet a review, a copy of the responses to the Governance, Leadership, and Oversight Capacity Screener, which was completed by the judge, the Policy Council chairperson, and myself. to be shared with you. There are 10 items. It has to do with practices that are in place in our program and that have to do with leadership, oversight, capacity, and governance. And so in there, we're supposed to check to see if the practice is in place. And if it isn't in place, can we put it in place within the first 3 months of operation? In the capacity screener, there's one item that is not in place that I will be coming back to you with. It has to do with assessment of the needs of the Commissioners Court, having to do with training needs for this coming year. We will come back with a screener. I'll sit down and share it with you that would let us know what those needs are, and then a plan for training and see how we can deliver it. All other practices that are listed there, 10 items, and under each one there's indicators, have been substantiated in meeting with the judge and with the Policy Council chairperson and backed up in our files so that there's proof that we do have those practices in place. At this time, it's just for review purposes. Do you have any particular questions related to the screener?
Just a comment. I know that Valda and Steve Crane have been working with you all, and I know we're talking about the Head Start reauthorization and the effect between the reauthorization and this. Valda, do you have any comments pertaining?
No, she and I spoke about this particular issue right here. She and I spoke, and yes, this is a process that does need to be undertaken, and this is in compliance with the notice of award.
Okay.
But with respect to the processes and whatnot, I'm still trying to finalize a couple of things before we have our meeting.
Okay, no problem. So everything in order, right? So you need action?
No action.
Okay.
It's an information
You were
item.
going to make a comment?
No, just making sure that that the other processes.
All right, let's move
Yeah,
on
we're
then.
good.
Judge, Commissioners, you know what? Yes, I do, and she's correct. There is no need for an action item, but I still would like just to record a vote of acknowledging or just the acknowledgement of this process.
Receipt.
Second.
Just the acknowledgement.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you. That way there is no question. It's very clear that
It
we are
came
following.
through.
Yes,
Sure.
yes, ma'am.
And we'll get back with the training needs and also with the plan for training and see how it can be administered. The second item is discussion and approval of the bid award and contract of the lowest and best bid, meeting all specifications for RFB number 2016-005-0506, air conditioning, maintenance, and repairs.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Letter C, discussion approval to renew the interlocal agreement with the South Texas Cooperative through Region 1 Education Service Center for the purpose of purchasing all food, commodities, uniforms, supplies, and services.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Letter D is request to enter into a memorandum of understanding MOU between Hidalgo County Head Start Program and Edinburgh Consolidated Independent School District and Mercedes Independent School District. These MOUs have to do with school readiness and partnerships that bring teachers into our classrooms.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Letter E is approval to enter into the best and final negotiated contract for medical, dental, and mental health services with number 1, Nuestra Clínica del Valle Incorporated for dental, Nuestra Clínica del Valle Incorporated for medical, Dr. Bose Industrial and Family Medicine PLLC doing business as Industrial Health Works for medical, Armando O. Gonzalez for mental health, and Therapy Express Children's Rehabilitation Center for mental health. All those who met the requirements are listed here.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Letter F is discussion approval of program calendars for program year 2016-2017 with the following partnering school districts: Edinburgh Consolidated Independent School District and Mercedes Independent School District. This year we're matching the calendars of the school districts where the centers reside that are partnering with us, and their teachers are in our classrooms.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
The final one is discussion approval of the Hidalgo County Head Start Program Area Distribution 2016-2017. This shows the numbers of children assigned to each of the areas, and we have 6 areas.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 17, our auditor.
Good morning, Linda Fong for the Auditor's Office. We're requesting approval to release the county's CAFR single audit and management letter for the year ended December 31st, 2015, prior to acceptance by the Commissioner's Court. The CAFR has been completed. The single audit is still pending, but we received requests from Lone Star National Bank and some grantor agencies for the CAFR. So we're requesting approval to release that information, or as it becomes completed, to release it.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 18, Precinct 1.
Morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Morning, sir.
We're requesting authorization to submit an EDC reduction application for a bridge replacement project. More specific, the Charles Green Road, CR 342, CSJ 0921-02331. And as for approval and for authority for the judge to sign.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item 19, Precinct 2.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Item A1, requesting approval of an interlocal cooperation agreement between the County of Hidalgo and the City of FAR regarding the Regional Linear Park project.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item A2, in accordance with Section 791.014 of the Texas Government Code, requesting approval of the interlocal cooperation agreement project regarding the Regional Linear Park project.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 19B, requesting approval to purchase a tract of land known as parcel number 1 for the Precinct 2 Lopezville Park expansion project.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item C, requesting approval to purchase a tract of land known as parcel number 3 for the Precinct 2 Yuma Avenue extension project.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
At this time, Judge, I would ask if I could bring back item 19D after executive session, since it's an executive session item.
All right.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Letty Saenz presenting for Marty Salazar, Purchasing Department. First item is presentation of the final form of RFQ packet for the program manager in connection with the design and construction of new Hidalgo County Courthouse, which includes, but is not limited to, the modification detailed by Commissioners Court at the meeting of 8/9/16 and incorporated by both Mr. Hawkins and Mr. Kaminsky, so as to proceed with the advertising of same unless other changes are requested to any of the components of the packet. That is qualification, scope of services, requirements, insurance, grading sheets. Move for approval on item A, or
Move for approval.
Second.
Okay.
B, presentation of
Hold on.
Hold on.
He's trying to make life hard on you.
Don't make it hard on the judge.
The RFQ packet, I think Commissioner Cantu.
Yes, sir.
Last time you indicated that there was no licensing requirements.
Was there?
Yeah, it turns out that the two agencies actually, they don't license, but they certify. And those certifications are recommended that they be in place by the Government Services Administration. And I was wondering, knowing that, should we go back and require that whomever we hire as a program manager can have obtained one of those certifications?
Well, I guess it depends on what the certification calls for, Judge. If it's something you go and take online for 15 minutes, I wouldn't require it. But if it's something that's based on, if you've done $1 billion worth of work and you get the certification, then maybe.
Well, I think it's the same one that would be required by the Government Services Administration. which, they're responsible for construction of all the federal courthouses.
And so it's going to specify
Certified in program management.
Okay. And what was the score on that? What was the amount of points was dedicated to that?
It was 5 points.
5. Mike, is Mike here?
Mike.
Oh, that was 5 points, wasn't it, Mike?
You didn't bring the score sheet.
Yeah, it's just the way that it was worded, it said it was a requirement in the state of Texas, but according to Mr. Hawk, the way it was worded, it said the license was a requirement in the state of Texas. It's not a requirement to practice in Texas, but it goes to the credentials of the firms. So is the way he put it. And that's what GSA relies on.
But they're similar to what the architects go through.
Kind of like with the AIA for the architects.
But we've never had it before, and we've had $250 million projects.
Yeah, it was 5 points.
Why can't it be grouped with another item so that it itself doesn't have 5 points? I don't even know what it is, other than GSA uses it. GSA also probably has lower insurance limits. So, I mean, there's modifications that we're making to these standards.
I'm not sure they do or not with this kind of project. We're looking at a construction cost of about 120, 125 million.
I've never seen a judge. I mean, I don't know if it's good or bad just because GSA uses it. I don't know if it's necessary.
Well, my question is going back to when you're assessing it based on the breakdown. You give a cap of how many points you can assign a project manager to get under different criteria.
But it is a cap. It's not mandatory that you award the 5.
Right. So going along with Eddie's argument, why not it be part of, instead of being a required license or certification in this case, just evaluate the point structure, because we're the ones grading it. Evaluate the point structure.
It's such a particular item. It's almost saying only certain people are going to have it, and we're going to limit our pools, and we're going to bring in people from possibly outside the state, and all of that drives the cost of having that type of company managing this project.
Well, but why don't we look and see if they do have it and what it is that they have to do to obtain it? I mean, if there was one of those online certifications or applications, then
but my
I would
concern
agree
is,
with you, but
right,
that may not be the case.
But if you leave it independent, Judge, that means that if they don't have it, you all automatically start everybody that doesn't have it at 95 for that one item.
Well, it'll be up to us. We're
not if it's by itself. You can still give the 5 points if they don't have it? That's why I was at. That's why.
But if it doesn't meet your standards or my standards, we don't have to give them the full 5. We could give them 4, 3, 2, 1.
But you're saying that if they don't have it, they won't get anything.
They won't get credit for the 5.
So you can't give them 4 or 3. You got to give them 0.
Exactly.
If they do not have it, correct. They don't get any credit for.
But there's some items that are worth 10 and 20 points. If you make that certificate part of that, then it's something that you can consider and weigh with the rest of the resume that the firm may have.
Mike, do you have any more information about the certification process?
Well, what we have, again, is from the GSA. It says, it's desirable that whatever possible, the construction or project manager provide personnel who have been certified as construction managers, project managers through the Construction Management Certification Institute, sponsored by the Construction Management Association of America, or the Project Management Institute, PMI, as project management professionals with 10 years construction management experience on construction projects valued $10 million or greater.
Yeah, but I would feel more comfortable evaluating that on the initial criteria as opposed to eliminating those firms that might not have that certification. Because certification more is in theory and experience, but you could have a firm that comes in that has extensive 20, 30 years of knowledge but just didn't go get the certification.
Right, and it's not a requirement to do construction management or project management in Texas.
I don't want it to stand
I just want to look
alone.
at a bigger pool is what I'm saying.
I don't want it to stand alone. So if it's grouped within another item that has 10, 20 points, that's fine. But I don't want it to stand alone.
Well, there is a professional qualifications area where it has 15 and 10 points.
So why not increase the 5 points from the
And then you have-
certification area, loop it up, move the 5 points over to the other, and then we'll evaluate it based on their submittal if they have it or they don't.
Or what we did last time was it was a standalone for 5 points, and the recommendation at the time was remove those 5, group it with the one underneath it, which was relevant program and management experience, and that was a total of that became a total of 10.
Well, that's fine too.
Yeah.
Well, did Mr. Hawkins recommend this, or?
Yeah, originally yes, it was in the original. It was in the original evaluation criteria as a standalone item for 5 points
For certification.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm saying we are considering the certification, but we're just grouping it in a different column.
In different
as
areas.
opposed to standalone column. Well, it's just, I mean, we can go either way.
Why don't, I'm
But
not
I
sure
do
when our
agree.
next meeting is, but we may need some more information about the certification process.
I think we'll have a meeting next week, Judge.
But Judge, I think that we're knowledgeable enough in reviewing a resume, and so that we can determine whether that's something that we really want based on, I'm sure Michael can do some research on how valuable that certification is, and he can update us. And then once we get, maybe everybody has it, maybe some people have it, but we'll determine whether it's something that we're looking for.
But you're taking it away, you're taking all 5 points away.
No, we're putting it in another category.
They're broken down in certain areas.
But the other
of the-
ones already have
15.
15 or 20.
Yeah, add the 5 in there and add that, whatever it is you're talking about.
Judge, I thought, something like local should have its own separate item, but when we started talking about it, it became real complicated as to how many local, what percentage, what does local mean, an office, people. I mean, I think that we just weigh that all together and decide what's the best for the county. I think we're going to get very competent applicants that can manage this project and that have managed projects of this size or bigger. I don't think anybody local that has never managed a $120 million project is going to apply.
But
Of course, that's my guess.
I'm not sure who we're going to get, but I'm hopeful that we'll be getting some competent individuals. I know that, here locally, we haven't built any comparable structure.
Oh, I agree. No, that's what I mean. So we're hoping to get applicants that have experience, but we can't control that. We put that out there, and this thing's not going to bring more applicants.
Why don't we, instead of 5, make it 3, but give some credit to the company that applies that went through the process of getting certified?
I would agree to some degree, Judge, but I think we need to know what that certification entails, because it could
Well,
be
then
more.
why don't we wait till next week and have Mike do some research on what's involved in certification process?
We'll have a meeting next week. With Monica.
Mike?
We do?
That'll be your task on both of those agencies.
As GSA, they require $10 million
We'll
in
work
car
together
insurance.
with him on this.
We gotta
So
rescind
is that
vote,
no
okay?
action
You
to?
already rescind the motion in the second.
But there were some other items too.
Yeah,
like
there's some
about
other
the
items.
local participation is, I think, one that needs to be clarified.
That was item A.
If you can give them maybe-
Michael, let me give you more work. See, maybe somebody's created a standard on how you determine local. Maybe you could look that up also.
Some definition of what is meant by local.
Google it
and
up.
when to give credit.
Google it.
Google it up.
But let us know, if it says local office, we can't consider that. Anybody can get a local office for 2 months. Or number of participants.
Participation on the team.
Whatever it is.
Because they're going to have to give us, whoever comes in is going to say, I have 40 people on this job. And so when they say that, as an example, they're going to say 40 people. Well, we could do a percentage. Are 80% of them here? Have they been living here the last 5, 10 years?
Because right now, the way it's still worded, it says location of principal office. And that's the way it's worded right now. So if you left it like that, then it'd be
Who
fine.
defines principal? Is that in the
You
statute?
know who defines principal? Wherever the check's mailed to.
Whoever you
Sometimes we check.
Okay.
It's a main office, it's a principal office and place of business.
So was that no action to item A? Okay. Item B was.
We need to withdraw the motion in the second.
Yeah, I withdraw my motion.
Second.
And put it on the agenda for next week then.
Item B is presentation of advertising schedules upon option as sent out to all members of HCCC for review and consideration. 1, the normal 2-week advertising posting, or 2, the extended 3-week advertising posting.
That additional week may give us an opportunity to spread the word a little better.
So 3 weeks for that, Judge?
I think 3 weeks would be very reasonable.
Judge, Commissioners, do you want to take action on this, or rather move this to
next week?
To the next week item, if we have Commissioners Court next week.
We're not setting dates. We're just picking the time frame. So we could do it now. Right, Steve?
You could do it now.
We can do it now.
If 3 weeks is...
3 weeks?
3 weeks sounds reasonable then.
Make a motion for 3 weeks.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And the 1 is no action, brother?
Correct.
C is selection and designation of the evaluation committee for the scoring and the grading of the statements of qualification received for the engagement of a program manager.
You need to, for us to name.
Yeah,
you'll.
Yeah, we need to have.
We'll be naming an evaluation committee.
I think this is probably the most important, or the largest project that, as a court, we're going to be involved in. Perhaps we ought to be the individuals doing the scoring.
I don't have a problem.
I would propose that it be up to the members of the court.
I'll make a motion for the commissioners and the judge.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Judge, then with that being said, I would advise and caution the purchasing department that if at any point you would have the committee meet, that you would have the governing body, and so therefore you would have, if you have a quorum, you would have to post a open meeting of that gathering, because this is an issue that will ultimately come back to this body.
Or we can have our meeting at the same time that we have one of these regular meetings.
True. I'm just saying, I caution purchasing that I know that in our past committees, that at various times we will get together to discuss issues, or
right.
I would caution with respect to the board, because you would have a quorum.
So maybe it's
if you had a quorum, you'd have to post an open meeting.
Right.
Right?
But you're going to do it here? Okay.
An open meeting, executive, or whatever.
All right.
Item D is discussion and or consideration of the need or desire to have presentation by the submitting firms prior to finalizing evaluation sheets.
I feel it's important that we have presentations by the firm. We need to know who they are, where they're from, what they've done, their work history, work experience.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item number 2, requesting approval to declare the items listed in Exhibit A attached herein, that is, office furniture, equipment, and vehicles, as surplus for the purpose of sale through auction scheduled for 9/14/2016 in accordance with the Texas Local Government Code 263-152 A1, and in the event no bids received.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 2B, pursuant to Texas Local Government Code 263.1511 and or 263.152A, the Reed Commissioners Court proceed to order any of the property to be destroyed or otherwise disposed of as worthless, inasmuch as the sale of said items Commissioners Court undertook to sell under subsection 1 at auction on 9/14/2016 resulted in no bids were received.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item 2C, requesting authority to publish advertisement for the auction of surplus equipment vehicles scheduled for 9/14/2016, including but not limited to seized, abandoned, and unclaimed property or additional and or necessary auctions.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B, Precinct 1, requesting exemption from competitive bidding requirements under the Texas Local Government Code, Section 262.024A, for a professional service.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B1B, presentation of the scoring grid for the purpose of ranking by Commissioners Court, the firm graded and evaluated through the county's approved pool of engineering firms in connection to professional engineering services for the purposes of an on-call construction material testing and geotechnical services for job-specific FEMA DR 4223 and 4245 projects located within Hidalgo County, Precinct Number 1. The engineering firms are Millennium Engineering Group, Inc., scoring 95, Robert Kistner, Inc., scoring 93, Terracon Consultants, Inc., scoring 90.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item BC, authority for the purchasing department to negotiate a professional services agreement for the purposes of on-call construction material testing and geotechnical services for job-specific FEMA DR 4223 and 4245 projects located within Hidalgo County Precinct Number 1 with the number 1 ranked firm.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item B2, acceptance and approval of proposal received from H&B Equipment Services, Inc., Progreso, Texas, awarded vendor through Hidalgo County's membership participation with TASB by board contract number 424-13 for the purposes of one new 2016 Doosan DL255 US 10- loader with standard equipment and attachments.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
One new Pemberton brush grapple and one new air burner rake.
Move for approval.
Second.
Well, for a total amount of $185,907.08, including but not limited to by board fees and delivery for use in proposed road improvements with Precinct 1 through Project 2016-309 SGS.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item C, Precinct Number 2, we're taking no action on this item, which is item A and B. Item C2, approval of work authorization number 2 with an estimated cost of $12,693 as submitted by Millennium Engineers Group, Inc., contract number C16-207-0510 to provide construction materials and engineering and testing services for the Precinct 2 El Gato Road repair west of Tower Road.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item D, Precinct 4, 1, presentation of bids received as detailed in tabulation sheet contained herein for the purposes of award to the responsible vendor submitting the lowest and best bid, including meeting specifications and/or requirements, with approval of contract documents for project titled Hidalgo County Precinct Number 4, hauling services for all road materials through RFP number 2016-233-0706 SMA.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item D2, request an exemption from competitive bidding requirements in the Texas Local Government Code, Section 262.262024A, for a professional service.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item 2B, presentation of scoring grid for the purposes of ranking of Commissioners Court, the firm graded and evaluated through the county's approved pool of engineering firms in connection to professional engineering services for on-call engineering services for projects located within Hidalgo County Precinct Number 4. Engineering firms for B2Z scoring at 97, Pettis Consulting Engineers at 96, Cook Joyce Inc. at 94.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item DC, authority for the purchasing department to negotiate a professional services agreement for the purposes of an on-call engineering services for engineering services for projects located within Hidalgo County Precinct Number 4 with the number 1 ranked firm.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item E, the district clerk, requesting approval of the master services agreement and confidentiality agreement as approved as sole source on Commissioners Court 8916 for Computing System Innovations, CSI, for the purchase of the interfacing software product with Tyler Technologies Odyssey Criminal Justice Information System in the amount of $118,798.50 and subject to Hidalgo County District Attorney's Office, Civil Section. Final legal review as to form.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item F, Budget and Management. Acceptance and approval of the following for construction of space pressure control at autopsy facility C16-238-0719 between Hidalgo County and Hericon LLC is submitted through Project Engineer Half Associates, Inc., and is approved as to form by Hidalgo County DA's office.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item F1A, final construction contract as Commissioners Court Award 7/19/16 under agenda item number 55383 in the amount of $82,500 with Hericon LLC.
Move for second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Item F1B, pursuant to Texas Local Government Code 262.031 and in the interest of expediting a project's progress, requesting authority approval for the Executive Officer Valdeguerra unless other designate to execute change orders that involve an increase or decrease in cost of $50,000 or less. The original contract price may not be increased by 18% or more without the consent of the contractor.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good job.
Thank you for being so nice to me.
No está Donald Trump aquí, so you would tell Marty, you're fired.
Judge, Commissioners.
Yes, sir. Under open forum.
We do have open forum. I just want to make a clarification here. We did have Ms. Firma clarity with respect to item 13E and F. I know that Ms. Townsend was up there for 13E and F. And then we have also Mr. Dave Asher for 13E and F. Is there Mr. Asher? Mr. Asher?
One, let's just give them their time.
Right, Mr. Asher? See, no. I'm going down the list. I'm going down the list. And again, I ask the audience to please respect the speaker's time at the podium, and I will advise, it's 3 minutes, and I'll advise the speaker when there's 1 minute left. Mr. Asher?
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners and Judge. Appreciate the opportunity. Given it, especially striking to me that there was an agenda item that was just in effect tabled. I don't know the appropriate terms, but you were just talking about and you're going to bring up again next week. I wasn't here last week when the petition for the healthcare district was discussed and conversation ensued, but I watched it online. There was much confusion, much questioning among the commissioners and the judge, and it's curious to me that that petition wasn't tabled for another week to seek further clarification. I'll listen to it again, and I've read quite a bit, both 1596, Chapter 1122 of the Special District Local Laws Code, and I'm also vaguely familiar with 286. The petition itself says that it's formed or called for in the provisions of 1122. 1122 does not call for a tax rate. Then on the tape and somewhere else, either reported in the media or somewhere, it is said that the tax rate is called for and authorized and required by 286, Chapter 286 of the Health and Public Safety Code. So it begs the question, there are 9 pieces of information according to 286 that must, and I'm vaguely familiar with government legal language, must does not mean may because there's a difference. 286 says these following things must be on the petition. There's 9 of them. One of those items addresses the tax rate, but 286 does not specify in sub 6 that the rate is to be in that petition. It says that the petition is supposed to state the max rate allowed by law, and the other code says it's 75 cents. I know 1122, 1596 stipulate 25 cents. But the petition doesn't conform as was suggested in last week's meeting. 286 calls for 9 pieces of information. And further in 286, it goes on to say that there's no time. The law stipulates when the petition must be heard. It does not say that it must be accepted at that time. And it further goes on to say, at the time and place set for the hearing, the Commissioner's Court shall consider the petition. I'm reading from it. The Commissioner's Court shall grant the petition if the court finds that the petition is in proper form and contains the information required by 286.022. It did not, and it does not. So I'm at a loss. As an earlier speaker said, there's much confusion surrounding this issue. And what occurs to me, and this is my opinion.
Mr. Asher?
Yeah.
You're out of time.
Just say your opinion.
There's a rush here. And it certainly seems that the race is to meet a deadline. This isn't, to me, good governance when there's so many questions remaining regarding the legal composition of this petition. The content of the bill is a whole nother issue.
Extend the time?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Asher. Who's next?
They're asking if you answered. If you could answer his question about.
We cannot. There was not an agenda
we can't
item with
answer.
respect to that, so we could not answer
Okay.
that.
They know that.
We do have.
Is there somebody else behind?
Ms. Townsend already spoke on that very issue. We had Ms. McClarity that was up there. We have.
Well, am I able to speak in open forum? Because I haven't opened my mouth yet.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Now or normal?
No, that's what I'm saying. I acknowledge that Ms. Townsend spoke, so Ms. Furman, that's what I meant, Ms. Furman.
Because y'all are confusing. Y'all are attorneys up there. Why don't you take that one piece of paper, and don't take this on my minutes yet, that participation form, and stick it in the trash. Because the participation form, you could have spoke to Mr. Asher, because that's why we signed that paper. Isn't that what you said?
Let me clarify something.
Would you?
The issue and you know what? The issue at hand earlier in the agenda there was a discussion with respect to the petition and whatnot. That is not on the agenda, and therefore we could not answer that. Okay? That would have been a violation of the Open Meetings Act. There has to be specific language on the agenda so that the court can address.
It talks about the health district.
No. There's two different, and Mr. Olivares clarified that. It was not one and the same. It was two different issues. Okay? And so, again, I'm fair to all parties involved. Okay?
Look, do you want to make any comments?
Yes, I'm in open forum. Take that piece of paper and throw it in the trash. I don't need permission for you to speak back because you're not going to speak anyway. So I'm just going to do the open forum. Is that all right? I'm here today to tell you that those of us that sit in the audience now know have a different opinion and view of the members of this commission. Those of you who say that you serve the people and yet take action that extend their condition of poverty, today alone you had an opportunity to roll back the tax rate just a little bit from 0.5886. No, we want that 59 cents. You're going to get as much as you got last year with the lower amount, but your little piggies, you want every cent you can get from the taxpayer. And those poor people that can't afford it, but that's okay. Squash them like a bug. What is happening today concerns the placing of a bill on the ballot will increase the number of families that will lose their homes because they cannot pay the growing amount of property taxes. I recall that Eddie Lucio, as chairman of the International Committee, suspended the public notice and only invited those who were in favor of the bill to give people an opportunity to vote on the new health care district. Those of you that were invited will recall that there were no opposition to the bill. I wonder why. Today, because the language in the bill, it was only necessary to have 50 registered voters to sign the petition. It seems that supporters of the bill could not find 50 registered voters who were willing to sign the petition. So they went to adult daycare centers. I don't know how many, but one for sure. And we're not sure who owns it, but I have a question. Was it the wife of Terry Canales to have them sign this petition? I am going to promise you that this bill passes every time you vote to confiscate someone's property when y'all do the cheering. I am going to remind you that it was because of your actions that the price of the food and shelter has increased. I will remind you that in the public interest to increase taxes to a healthier Hidalgo, it was in the public interest to build a new courthouse to serve 24 judges that can't seem to make it to work. Just for your information, the bill does not say that those who qualify as indigent will get free health care. So it will be just like Obamacare. The people will have insurance but won't be able to get health care. The bill does state that the district can order a bill to place it on the ballot to increase the tax rate. I guarantee you it won't be long. It'll be 75 cents. And today you talk about in your proposition, you've got all taxpayers, all taxable property. The district funding shall be used for district purposes for the DHR and whatever they need in the different parts of this district, including improving health care for residents of Hidalgo County. That's a lie. It's not for everybody. It's only for the indigent. Read the bill. And I would also like to make a statement that the commissioners do not have their website correct on the website of the county. Joseph, you do. You have Elizabeth. Joe Flores, you do not. Joe, I tried to send one. It kicks back. So if you will please put the correct email address on your website. No wonder y'all get no response from the public. They can't get it to you. Thank you.
Next speaker is Ms. Norma Saldana.
I'll let him go ahead.
I'm almost afraid to step up there now.
Then are you giving up your time for?
Well, can I just wait?
Pardon, I didn't hear you.
3 minutes. Okay, is that okay?
Okay, then you know what 3 minutes combined?
No.
Oh my God! Can't we just? I'm so sorry.
What I'm saying is that he's not on the list.
I know I'm not on the list. I seldom exercise past my 3 minutes. I just wanted to ask if you could vary the rules and let me say something which I think is timely.
Judge.
If the answer is no, I'll go sit down.
Go ahead, Frank.
Thank you very much, Judge. I try to be fair and not just negative on things, but we have a serious problem in Southgate subdivision. The Board of Directors has issued a notice to the people by email that they are contacting lawyers to solve a local problem. The people in contest aren't even talking to each other, and it looks like a situation that may get substantially out of hand. I'd like to, 4 or 5 years ago, I wrote a letter to a judge on a course which helped get a similar case thrown out. I'd like to make a couple of quotes here. The AARP engaged a gentleman, David A. Kahn, of Houston in Texas, to make a nationwide survey and report on problems in HOAs which were prevalent all over the country. And here's one quote which he wrote. When conflicts do occur, residents have few practical options. This is because associations have the power to make rules like a legislature, enforce rules like an executive, and resolve disputes like a judge, all through a board of volunteer directors who may vary substantially in their knowledge, experience, and sometimes intent. In the absence of separate powers, homeowners lack vital checks and balances. The second quote is by an Evan McKenzie, professor at University of Illinois with a long career in working with COAs. His quote from his book is, in framing the dangers of CIDs, McKenzie is careful not to vilify HOA directors. Most of them are salt-of-the-earth people, but all you need is 1 or 2 power-hungry control freaks on a board to create a lot of problems. Unlike city governments, which ostensibly must follow governance, HOAs are woefully unregulated. I'd like to emphasize this because of the bylaws which Southgate, that I have intention here that are involved in this argument. If you look at the last page of the bylaws which they adopted, quote, the board of directors can change the bylaws, unquote. Now, this is a ridiculous situation. We have a lot of older people on retirement, and the association here has raised the regular dues from $100 a month to $125, has had one special assessment for $25 this year, has stated their intention to raise another one. They're not even talking on trying to resolve their problem. My hope was that perhaps you could at least get a resolution passed here, which has totally been advised that you just can't do this. Just an observation to state facts and ask the commissioner of Precinct 2, where the property lies, to look into the matter. Not to exert, to make it clear that they have no authority, they're not trying to do anything, but just if we let the people know that some wiser and well-respected heads are knowledgeable at looking over what they're doing, it could substantially change the resolution to a problem, which may erupt to substantial proportions and unfairness with the residents. I thank you for your letting me speak very much. I've been denied this request, which I made separately, but I hope you will reconsider, Judge. Thank you very much.
Yes. Ms. Norma Saldana.
Good morning. I, as Dave Asher, are very concerned about the petition that was presented last week, and our concerns, again, like Fern said, that they have hit the adult daycares trying to get the signatures, at least of one that we know of. But that being said, I do want to say that Hidalgo County, again, does have an indigent care program that takes care of our poorest in our county. And it's important to understand that this free care, like I said, is provided to everyone that meets the indigent guideline, which I believe is $250 a month or less. Last year, $15 million was spent on free health care by I guess what we contributed, $1.50, and then they met it, and then we have the waiver. And the reason that I say this is because Mayor Beto Salinas, Mayor Beto Suarez of Weslaco have acknowledged what a devastating impact on our people this healthcare district will have. I think Eddie said it best last week to Lupe and Valley Interfaith. At the end of the day, whatever promises were made to them might not come true. And I speak to you with no hidden agenda, no special interest, besides what is best for our county and our people and our poorest. Last night on Channel 5, we had a gentleman from Cameron County, I believe his name was Eddie something, that is looking at losing his property because he can't afford taxes. And I speak to you because I always tell you, my 90-year-old grandmother, my 80-year-old mother-in-law, can't afford. We take care of their property taxes, their grandchildren. And so I look to you all as leaders of our community to really, like Dave said, don't be in such a hurry, to meet this deadline. Kind of take a step back and reflect and see what impact this is going to make on our community. And thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Anyone else?
So, and our last presenter is Ms. Opal Billman.
Good morning. My name is Opal Billman. For a divorce settlement, it would be preposterous to everybody that the court determined the income-producing community property of Joe and me was excess land with no value. Then incorporate and start selling and building on it. That's what happened. I have not spent 20 years in police-enforced false imprisonment for a fair divorce settlement between Joe and me. No, this has been a witch hunt for technicalities, vandalisms, and rewards for them. destruction of our family, and defamation of us. I have countered and accounted, and then some, with facts. It makes no difference. Those in charge want our property. Buildings have been built on land that belongs to us. Large amounts of money have been borrowed from banks and given to people that I do not know. The banks and the borrowers are using our debt-free property as their collateral. The banks and the borrowers are working in tandem, using illegal liens to assume possession of all of our private property. No consideration was taken for due process of law or equal protection of the law. 20 years of police-enforced false imprisonment is a huge violation of the Constitution. Remove the trespassers and their pavement and buildings from our land. It is the law. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Judge, we do need to go into executive session.
At this time, pursuant to 551-071 and 072 of the Texas Government Code, I would entertain a motion to proceed to executive session.
So moved.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. We will be in executive session. All right, we're back in open session. Mr. Guerra.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. Under open session, before we go to open session, I do believe we need to address an agenda item that we forewent till after executive session. Mr. Garza?
Judge, Commissioners, if we could go back to item 19D. After discussion in executive session, we're requesting approval to accept the counteroffer to purchase a tract of land known as Parcel 2 for the Precinct 2 Yuma Avenue extension project.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Vale.
Under open session 22A, real estate acquisition, no action to be taken. Item 22B, pending and or potential, there's no action to be taken. 22C, C0929-12-F, Johnny Pertain versus Eddie Guerra, Precinct 4 Constable et al. Just continue as or proceed as directed. No action to be taken in open session. Item 22D, claim of Blanca Hernandez de Quintanilla. Judge, Commissioners, I would like Settlement Authority to make an offer in the amount of $1,813.94.
Move for approval.
Second.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion
Aye.
carries.
Judge, Commissioners, obviously there's no action. Item 23, and there's no need to go back into closed or open, so we have adjournment.
Move for approval.
Second. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen.
We are having Commissioners Court next week, 9:30.
All right.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioners. Drainage as well. Yes, sir. Drainage as well.